Wham! Talk 1600. You're catching the drift. Conservative talk. Intelligent conversations on local, state, and national issues with Gary Wellings, chief editor of the Current newspaper and Current Online. Join in the conversation at 734-822-1600. And now, your host, Gary Wellings.
Hey, good Saturday afternoon. Thanks for tuning in to catch our drift. Joining me in studio, Ipsy Ed Bonderenka.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
On this rainy
kind of feels
day.
like morning when you walk in and it's all gray, right?
Like what Dick said, March comes in like a lion, goes out like a duck.
Well, there you go. Well, welcome to The Drift, and what we do every Saturday is go over the news that we put on thedailydrift.com. It's
the news you need to know.
Excellent. Yes, news from around the world, across the nation, and even right here at home sometimes if it's interesting enough for our national audience there. We're going to start with a little sponsor here and get a little business out of the way. It's springtime. You're going to be swapping over from heat to air conditioning. And you might want to get that air conditioning service checked.
Yes, sir.
AAA Service Network, AAAServiceNetwork.com, or you can call 734-864-4340, 734-864-4340. Get your air conditioning checked, but you can also do water heaters, water softeners, anything to do with HVAC, the softeners, appliance repair, sump pumps. Don't forget about the sump pumps. With all the spring rains that are coming, you may end up with a wet basement. You don't want that.
Check those battery backups on your sump pump. You know?
Absolutely. You know,
you lose power. Ooh.
Yeah, it pays to do a little checkup. Right, and AAA Service Network can certainly do that.
Home generators repair, you know.
That's
and
one of my
service. One
of my big things I'd like to get done is put in a home generator. I just got to save up a little money and put it in my budget and just get it done because
it's handy when you're the only lights on in the neighborhood. You know, it's just
comforting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So AAA Service Network, 734-864-4340. Lots of locations, Brighton, South Lyon, and Ann Arbor, Whitmore Lakes. So give Ed a call. He's a great guy, and he's got a great business, and he'll get somebody out to take care of whatever your needs are. So check him out. Okay. Interesting week. You didn't go to the Trump thing, did you?
No, I watched it. I watched a Facebook friend of mine, Dodge Dawn, appear sitting and standing right behind the president on national television. Yeah,
nice. I watched most of the speech, and of course, I was thrilled because I find him entertaining as well as refreshing.
He pulled a Joe Lenard. Did you hear it?
No,
it got uncensored. Every other utterance of the
BS?
The BS, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
bleeped.
Yeah. I did hear it, yes.
Yeah,
I
was
did
like,
hear that. And I laughed. I chuckled. And I'm like, whoa, he's on fire tonight. And I saw somebody on Facebook was kind of, Trump's going into the gutter again. I'm like, you know what? Take the good with the bad. Frankly, if I wanted a politically correct person, we had those. Bush's, Clinton's, whoever. And they got nothing done. I'll take a fresh, foul-mouthed president any day of the week if he's getting the job done, protecting the Constitution, and protecting me and my interests.
You know, I don't want foul-mouthed, but there are some words that come into common acceptance. Like, we can say crap on the air. I'd have got my mouth washed out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, when I was a kid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Paul in the Bible says, count it all dung. And there's another word for that, but it comes right from the pulpit. Count it all dung. Dung's a word, But if you were the president of the United States and you had just gone through everything he'd gone through, and now you're doing a victory lap, you're liable to get a little carried away.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So it was entertaining. It was good to see giant crowd inside, filled to capacity, giant crowd outside. And I think that bodes well for Michigan because I think the average Michigander, you've got your leftists and your never-Trumpers, but I think the average person is saying, you know what? He's doing the right things. No matter what, despite the fact, if he's got a 50% approval rating, despite everything the Democrats and the media have thrown at him, I think he's doing pretty well.
Is it Trump unleashed now?
I hope. I don't think you'll see him unleashed until after he starts his second term.
And I'm wondering if he's going to go after everybody after the second term.
After the second term, gloves are off. So you might have to wait. Be patient, folks. I mean, a lot of us are looking at all those sealed indictments and saying, oh, there's conspiracy. What's going to happen? You know what? Wait until January of 21, and see what happens, because that's when the unleashing begins. He's got nothing left to lose.
It's so obvious to anybody who's willing to look what conspired, what happened in this country of such a diabolical nature. Do you think Rosenstein? Do you think he had a come to Jesus moment with Trump? Do you think that I'm getting the impression that Rod Rosenstein actually has, in a sense, switched sides and may have in the background apologized to Trump for his behavior.
He may have. Obviously, some kind of whether it was a come to Jesus moment or whether I'll do whatever you say, don't put me in jail type of thing. Whatever it is, he may, I'm not going to say he has, I'm going to say he may have. And I think with Barr going in, that might have been something going on with Mueller too. Barr might have come in and said, Mueller, what are you doing? Do you have anything or not? Well, no, but if I keep digging, maybe I'll find something. Be done with it.
Yeah, that's true.
You've been in here. You're embarrassing yourself. You're embarrassing the country. Finish it. And if you've got something, get the indictment. And here's what I want, because I'm so tired of seeing Adam Schiff and Maxine Waters and all these Democrats saying it's still there. Swalwell, still saying all this stuff, right? You know what? What is special counsel? He's a prosecutor, correct? Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, exactly.
He's a prosecutor. Prosecutor's job, indict or don't indict. Those are your options. I don't care whether he came out and said no collusion, no obstruction or not. Your job is to indict or not indict, period.
I wrote about this on my blog, about exonerate, and he was not exonerated. Well, it's not the prosecutor's job to exonerate. It isn't. The prosecutor, like you said, he indicts or he shuts up. If the prosecutor has nothing, he's not supposed to say anything. And Mueller pulled a Comey on this one. He started talking about it again, just like Comey did. That was wrong. It should have been, okay, I found nothing. End of story. Here's the report to Barr. Barr can do what he wants, but there's nothing. But to say I didn't say anything that I didn't exonerate him, you can't be exonerated until you are charged.
Yeah.
He wasn't charged, so there's nothing to exonerate. I mean, he was charged in the press, but in a legal sense, he wasn't charged.
The other thing that bothers me is watching this Swalwell go after, trying to compare this, and I said this, I think, a couple of weeks ago, right? They let Jussie Smollett off because Trump's getting off, right? That's two different cases. I'm sorry. In Smollett's case, he's guilty as all get out. The proof is there. The police department have it. They've even released some of it. It's still there. But you had 2 full years, $40 million worth of investigations going on Donald Trump, and you found nothing.
Zip.
No indictments.
Nada.
And the AG Barr comes out and gives his 4-page summary and says, this is what Rosenstein and I say. Yeah. Based on that, Mueller has not come out and said, oh, no, I didn't say that. None of those 19 people, including Weissman, is that the attack dog, bulldog Weissman? That was his top prosecutor, I think. Highly biased toward the Democratic Party, like all of them.
One of the gang of 19.
Yes, one of the gang of 19, the one that recently just walked away, and that was the big signal that it's done, it's over. When the pit bull's gone, it's done. They found nothing.
And, the president Barr can't just release this report unredacted. Granted, he offered executive privilege to the administration and says, do you want to review it for executive privilege? And Trump said, nah, let it go. Well, there are sources, particularly when we looked at the Russian side of things. How would we know what the Russians are doing? There's stuff that has to be redacted. Yeah. There's, for Jerry Nadler to come out and say, what? Oh, Nadler. I'm sorry. Yeah. For Jerry, what's-his-face, to come out and say, hey, you can't, you have to give it to me by Tuesday. What? That's just a political ploy to make Barr look like he's hiding something because he hasn't brought it out by Tuesday. But it just makes that guy look like an idiot to anybody who's in the know.
And who the hell is Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, or Jerry Nadler, or Adam Schiff to say, you must give it? You're not the president nor the king. You will follow and get it when it's done and when the laws are applied to it. You know what I mean? Yep. You can't just release grand jury information like that.
No.
Go get
In fact,
the court documents.
Nobody ever releases grand jury information, ever. Never does grand jury information. It's supposed to be highly secret. The jurors aren't supposed to talk about what happens in a grand jury. Nobody is, because there's innocent people who get caught in this web, in this dragnet, and it's found that they're innocent, but their names get besmirched because they were part of this investigation. So nobody's supposed to say anything. Yeah. The thing is that Mueller came out and said, I got nothing.
You have to follow the law, right? It's that simple. Follow the law. It's that. And he's going to release everything he can following the law. And I'm hoping at that point the president will say, good, you want further transparency? Here's the FISAs as well.
Oh, I can't wait.
I hope that is in the works. I hope it is in the works.
And I like what Trump said. He said, I didn't release the FISA stuff because it would have been seen as obstruction of justice if I did that. It would look like an attempt to discredit. Now that the report's out, the FISA stuff comes out, unredacted.
I hope it does. Because you know what? This needs to be followed up. And we've all been begging for it. We don't know if it'll happen. For a special counsel to look at, A, the people who started this.
We don't need a special counsel. Yeah. We have a department. We have a Department of Justice. We have an Attorney General. Sure, this is political, but it's going to look like political recrimination no matter what. Somebody still has to prosecute, right? Mm-hmm. So you have a special, and the American people are tired of special prosecutors. They're this good. If you had a special prosecutor, all the ire that the American people has against Mueller and his not finding anything and wasting our time would then get transferred to whoever, to the Trump team for having a special prosecutor going after the other side. We have a Department of Justice that just do their job, period. Oh, I'm sorry. It was a former president of the United States or a former presidential candidate of the United States or a former Secretary of State or two.
Well,
you know what I mean? Too bad. The law is the law, and they're not above the law, like Jussie Smollett is.
Yeah. Here's what I would like to see. I'd like to see a special prosecutor. You know who I'd like to see? Someone who I know is above board, beyond question, as fair and impartial. You know who it is?
Mark Levin.
Not Mark Levin. Alan Dershowitz.
Ooh.
Voted for Hillary.
Ooh.
Put him on the case. Say, you know what? I'm going to make you a special prosecutor. I want you to, go after all the FISA stuff and then look into all the things that
he's already lost all his friends on the left anyhow.
Exactly. Yeah. And for him, it would be the end of the final career move, I think, for him, because he's an older guy. But I trust him emphatically. I really do, because I know he's a liberal. I know he's not a Republican or conservative by any stretch of the imagination, but he's a constitutionalist, at least from everything I've seen.
And he has integrity and ethics. That's been demonstrated.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of Jussie Smollett, let's take a call from Jimmy in Manchester. Jimmy, welcome to the show.
Hi, Jimmy.
Hey, how you doing today? I agree with you. Alan Dershowitz is a classical liberal, not a liberal like we think of him.
Yeah, not a progressive.
Yeah.
Right. He's a good man. Now, the Jussie Smollett thing, how can they take $10,000 in fines from him and give him community service posthumously? I don't know.
Time served.
After the fact, time served, when they haven't had a trial. What judge put his name on that? And the police want $130,000 in bribe money from him, or they're going to do something to him. This is an absolute miscarriage of justice. If they're going to drop the charges, they got to give him his money back and let him go.
Well, he volunteered his money, his deposit, that $10,000. That's allegedly that's what he volunteered.
Well, then that's extortion. That's a bribe.
Yes,
you and I know that. Now the Chicago Police Department says, by the way, you owe us 113 also.
Or something.
130, I think, was what it was.
130. That's what I thought it was.
And if he doesn't pay it in a week, it goes to well over 300. And it's not like Smollett can't pay it. I'm sure he's got money. He was making $1 million an episode, I think, right?
Something close.
And he wasn't happy about it.
But what judge made him do it?
Yeah. So I don't think he's scot-free, though. I think that the Chicago Police Department is going to hammer him in any way, shape, or form. There's going to be some civil lawsuits.
I'm saying what they're doing is illegal. The cops. That's total extortion, right on its face.
Well, it's not
I'm not defending what he did or anything like that. But if the charges are dropped, that's a done deal.
Cops would have their way. He'd be in their jail. I mean,
I understand that, but they can't do. You got to get a judge to steal money from you. I don't care what anybody says.
No,
civil forfeiture laws.
Yeah, there is a law in